Good afternoon and hello, everyone. Welcome to Bob Randall and Company Live, Season 3. That's right, I said Season 3. We're here on a Monday, April Fool's Day. Beware of what you believe today, right? Let's say hello to the man sitting next to me, the most famous entertainer in the world, the hardest working man in magic, Mr. Magical Randall Santa Checker Lee.
Wow. I'm gonna have to record those and just put them as my intro every time when I do a show. I tell you, hi everybody, welcome. Can't believe it's Monday already and April already. Wow, we're already talking snow again this week, but that's a story coming up in a minute. But welcome everybody. Glad you're here. Great to see you, Bob. Hi Angela back there. Hope you guys had a great week. It's one
Yeah,
more week.
April Fool's Day, you get up on Facebook and start seeing all these folks that are shaving their beards off and, you know, uh, I don't know why they think we would fall on that of this day of all days, right? I mean, come on, come up with something better. Trick me.
Uh, Charlie White looked good all cleaned up, you know, he really
Yeah,
did.
yeah. Seen
I
that. I
wonder how
seen
old of
that
a
today.
picture that was.
Yeah, that's the question. When was that picture taken?
Yeah,
For sure. So,
unbelievable.
weather here, we've got 79 degrees, mostly cloudy, tornado warning or watch actually for the county north of us, and got a chance for tornadoes today, ping pong ball size hail, thunderstorms, winds, 55, 60-mile-an-hour winds. So, going to be a turbulent afternoon here in North Texas. How is things up there in the Michigan area,
A
Randy?
little chill. It's been staying chilly in the morning. We've been getting up in the morning. It's still in the 20s. It's hitting the 50s, but they're talking maybe a couple inches of snow on Thursday. So it's
Wow.
still Mother Nature still doesn't
Still in
want to let go of that winter time. You know,
that
does not want to
transitional
let go
period.
up here. So and that's it just it just gets you all no snow, please, no snow. It's we haven't had much, but it's oh, not
I
this
was
time. Not
seeing somewhere in the Midwest that they were talking about possibly 12 inches in one location. I don't remember where I read that was going to be, but hey, maybe it'll all peter out before it gets to you because that was to the west of you that I saw
hope
that.
so.
You know, here we got 13-mile-per-hour winds at the moment,
Can't do that.
63% humidity. Dew point is 66, so it's muggy, it's cool, helping blow some of that sweat off of you, but
Hopefully the
just
tornadoes and bad hail will stay away. That's some scary
yeah.
stuff. I'm sorry.
Hope
That's
so. Now, our local weather forecasters were saying it's probably going to stay to the counties just north of us towards the Red River in southern Oklahoma. So we'll see. Right now, as a lot of the big cities in the South, we get what they call a heat dome or a cap around the city itself from all the concrete, cars, heat. It's always warmer in the city than it is in outlying areas. And that cap, if it breaks, then it happens. If it doesn't break, if the clouds don't get above that cap and it opens up, then usually we just get hard rain. So we'll wait and see. Wait for to see if the cap breaks.
the thing is, you can't not a whole lot you can do. And Mother Nature,
That's
that's
right.
she's gonna do what she wants to do. So
Absolutely right. That's for
hopefully
sure.
we can
So,
just be safe.
you know, uh, you got any plans for April Fool's Day? I mean, have you fooled anybody yet?
I fooled myself. I got out of bed. I think after a horrible night's sleep, it was a bunch of problems last night. Brother. So I was like, I got out of bed. So that was a miracle. Fooled myself. I'm surprised I did it.
Well, sometimes we have those kind of nights. Some nights you sleep like a log. Some nights you got too much on your mind. It's hard to shut that brain down at times. It has a mind of its own.
Yeah, it can. And I had my first day of cardiac therapy today, so which was
Yeah,
first thing in the morning. So maybe that was on my mind. I don't know, but
I'm sure. Anytime I have something important to do the next day, or something pressing, it's those are the nights that I sleep the less. The ones that I turn and toss and turn on the most. So, and if you're going to travel, you're always excited. That's just travel anxiety. Can't wait to get there and see your brothers and sisters or your family wherever you're going. So, we had a small gathering yesterday of our family, and enjoyed some good food. Angela, she cooked a couple of big hams out on her smoker and turned out absolutely fabulous. And uh, Mrs. Claus, she cooked up a spread of stuff to go with it, so we enjoyed it. Did you get to spend time with family yesterday, Randy?
Yeah, it was real nice. The girls and the grandsons and the son-in-laws, they all came over for dinner last night. So it was a good dinner. Same thing. We had ham and chicken and sweet potato souffle and au gratin potatoes and all kinds of just everybody gets to take a big bag of food home. I mean, so we divided up and so yeah, it was a nice afternoon. Just a nice afternoon.
Very good. I'm kind of
Uh,
glancing over here to the comments. I see Mike Hutchins says, "Happy Monday, happy April," and Angela Mack replies, "April is the best month ever." And
wow, really?
yeah, it's a good month. Our son's birthday is the first portion of April. My father's birthday was just a few days after his. Rest in peace, Bob Senior. And then Angela Mack's got a birthday coming up this month, and then our
Oh,
granddaughter has
that's
a
why it's the
birthday
best month of the
later
year.
in the month. So this is birthday month for us at our household. What'd you say?
That's
10 days, she said. She wants everybody to know it's 10 days to her birthday.
and Angela's finally going to be legal, 21.
I did. I mean, she's been waiting a long time for that to happen.
Yeah, finally be legal, Angela. Right, Angela? Finally going to be legal.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Yeah,
Um,
April's a good month. Again, other than the storms that we have to watch out for, April's always a nice time of year here in North Texas, the blooming of the flowers. Now, the worst part about April for me, hay fever. It's
oh
one of the
yeah.
months that I suffer the most. The trees, the grasses, the weeds, the wind. I didn't sleep well last night, but it was because my sinuses were really messing with me last night. So yeah, it's just something we have to endure every year. Put
I
up with it,
see.
wait for it to pass, and then get on with the things on the other side. So,
I see Mike and Carl say their birthdays both in April too. Now that's
well,
true, or
say
April
there,
Fool's
Angie.
too.
April is an important month.
Yeah.
Okay, Randy, are you ready to get into the hot topics today?
Yeah, let's do it up.
Let's go ahead and do that. The show about nothing with a whole lot of something. That something is our hot topics we have each Monday. Two topics. Randy goes first as usual, and he's got a good one for you today. Go ahead, Randy.
Yeah, I thought I'd make something easy here. It's since it is April Fool's Day, I kind of thought I'd pose a kind of a question that's, maybe the funnier side. What was the funniest thing a child ever said to you? And what is the funniest thing you ever said to a child? What was the funniest thing a child ever said to you? And what was the funniest thing you ever said to a child?
You know what,
Simple
Randy? I
ones,
thought
no rough.
about this one after you sent me that question, and there's been so many at the mall, and after 10 seasons at the mall, and 12 to 15,000 children a year, you forget the most funniest ones. I know I've had some really funny ones, and some have just had me cackling. I mean, I would bust out when a child would say something to me. Of course, your natural instinct is to laugh naturally, and halfway through that natural laugh turns into oh ho 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 ho, and kind of try to mix Santa back in on the backside of that. And I've had some funny ones, but I just could not recollect one that come to mind. And of course, for Santa, my philosophy has always been: if the children get silly with them.
Yes.
Be just as silly as they are. If they're serious, of course, there's a serious moment, and you want to be serious, but be childlike. Let the child in your heart flow, and so I'm all the time saying something that the kids laugh at. But again, I couldn't just come up with one that stuck out in my brain. A lot of guys take and keep a little notepad near, and they write down their journals, and something I wished I had done more of. I haven't. It would be nice to be able to look back in your journal and say, "Oh yeah, that was what they said,"
Was
but
that?
I didn't do that. So
Yeah, that was. I got to go back to this is crazy. I go back to always this same line. that happened the very first night I put the Santa suit on. I was helping out a friend. Hey, we need a Santa. Can you put the Santa suit on? Blah, blah, blah. Okay. It goes back to then. We're talking 1981. I'll never forget this line of this one young man comes up. He's a chunkier young man. He just kind of waddles his way up. And, you know, back then, that's all you did was ask those questions basically at a mall. What would you like for Christmas? He goes, well, Santa, I would like a bike for Christmas, but my dad said I'm going to get a kick in the butt instead. Of course, it was my first day as Santa. I just lost it. Besides, you couldn't help but he was just like being serious. I wanted bike for Christmas. My dad said I'm going to get a kick in the butt. Oh my goodness! So it just little things like that are just crazy. That I won't forget that one. That was from the very first day I put the red suit on. And I mean, there's been, like you said, thousands between then and now.
Yeah,
That stood out so strong.
that's funny.
Yeah,
That's
and
funny.
the things to say, man, like you said, you got to be childish back. And
Yeah.
I try to do funniest thing I like to say to the thing is how old I am. That's the funniest thing I'd like to say to how the children, how old I am, because that just throws them off. So I think it's funny. But oh well, let's see what we've got here. We got some people chiming in. Love to see everybody. We got Dana and Joe and Carl. And Carl, you look good without the beard there, Carl. Yeah, I like that new profile picture. Look good. Yeah. How old is that picture, Carl? Anyway, what are you in college at that picture? Jessica's here. Cynthia, man, we got a great crew here. Good to see everybody. Um, First one here is I had a teenager. This is Dana. I had a teenager ask me for a free ride to college. Wow. I asked him if he wanted to be on a Uber or a Lyft. Uh, Great comeback because they said a free ride. Okay, not a free ride for free school, but a free Lyft and an Uber. And great comeback, Dan. A great comeback.
Fantastic. Great job.
And next is from Joe Stefan. Child, I want a brown unicorn for Christmas because there are more of them. Once everyone wants the rainbow ones. Better chance of getting a brown unicorn because everybody wants a rainbow unicorn. Very good. Carl, like I said, looking good, man. Um, I don't remember anything specific, but I've had several children report about grown-ups' recent bad behavior. Boy, that's not funny, but it is
Yeah.
sad how many kids will make some comments about their parents, bad behavior.
Hmm.
Uh, Jessica, how are you? Good to see you. As a family and child photographer, I've had a child say, "I cannot smile." My mom says it's a says I am a smart aleck. If you are smart, people don't smile. Or people don't smile, huh? Okay. I said smart people do when they're having ice cream, want ice cream. They maybe you should smile. Mom agreed never to stop smiling. Uh, he was right. It's called bribery, isn't that what that's called? Oh goodness, very cool. Yeah, Carl, I know it's April Fools. Don't worry. There's no way you're gonna get rid of all that white for your beard. Um, but there are so many things that children can say that can just, like Bob said, it would have been fun if we could have kept a journal going.
I wished I had it.
Because they're limitless, the things that the children say that they're not heartwarming. They're not. They're just silly. I think I even remember having somebody ask for a brown cow. And why do you want a brown cow? Because I like chocolate milk better.
Yeah, and the thing about keeping a journal, Randy, would be to be able to document it word for word what the child said, because
Yeah.
sometimes, just like any joke, it's the delivery that really gets you.
Right.
I do remember reflecting back on. I was talking with a little 6, 7 year old boy. He had a little sister with him that she was a toddler, and we were talking Oreo cookies. And I like to talk about taking the cookies apart and licking the white part apart, and then still having two chocolate cookies. And I always ask them if they're dippers. Do they dip their cookie in the
Hmm.
milk after that? And then he says, "No, I don't drink a lot of milk." He said, "So I don't dip." He said, "But I like." It seemed like he told me whipped cream or ice cream to go with his cookies. And I said, "Yeah, what do you think little sister might have with her cookies?" And he looks up at me and he says, "Well, I don't think she really likes ice cream right now yet, but I think she wants ketchup with hers." And that was one of them that came to mind that I thought about, and I thought to myself,
Uh,
"Boy, that's classic Oreos
yeah,
and ketchup."
yeah. Very good. Very good. We got anybody else? Did I miss anybody?
No, I think it's so far that's all
Yeah.
been covered.
Excuse me.
And I'm sure that everyone else, I mean, like for those who sit in a chair at one of the big box sporting goods stores or at a local mall, or if you're doing a corporate event, you really don't have time to journal.
Yeah,
So you
yeah.
have to kind of go by memory. You go home that night, and if you see 100 children in one evening, it's really hard to remember what that fourth, fifth, sixth child said opposed to the 98th, 99, 100th child, because it was so far and deep into the program. And so I'm sure everyone else is kind of like you and I. It would have just journaled.
Yeah, but sometimes some will stand out. Like that one of mine, just it's probably because
Yeah.
I started that way. That was when I started, so that's probably what made that one stand out more than anything. So,
Hmm.
but yeah, well, great guys. Thank you as always.
Yeah. Just
Thank you.
remember, everything when you're little is better with ketchup.
I uh when I was asking if they have puppies or whatever, and they say their names, and a friend of mine, they live in Colorado Springs, Colorado. They named their puppy Ketchup, and my daughter's one name is Pepper. So I tell them we have two puppies at the North Pole, and the elves named them. Oh, they named them from the cafeteria, you know. So Pepper was not a bad name, blah blah blah, but Ketchup, and of course the kids just giggle. Ketchup, yes, Ketchup. They must have been having French fries or something when they named the puppy. But they are really puppies' names, so I use them
Yeah.
because they're really puppies' names. But um,
Well,
Ketchup is
and
a
that
silly
is
name
so true,
puppy.
and that's something we've talked about on this show many a time and documented. But when you build your backstory, or you're talking about the North Pole, or an adventure that you've had as Santa, if you use your real life stories and just transform them into a Santa story,
Yeah,
it's easy to remember those stories.
very.
And for folks, like I said, sitting at a big box sporting goods store or at a mall, or where you see volumes of children, you don't know when you're going to see a child again. Sometimes I've seen children 3 or 4 times in one season, because they come by themselves with mom because they're at the mall that day, and then a week later they come back with little sister, and then 2 weeks later they come back with their cousins, and so children's memory is good. So you got to really be careful that you don't step on your own toes when you tell a story. So by using your real life uh, story and just transforming that into a Santa story, you're better off, because that way you can remember what you've told the children.
And also sometimes it sounds more realistic, or sounds
Yes,
because you have a working knowledge already in your head about the dog named Ketchup. It sounds ridiculous, but you have
sure.
it's your own story, or how you met Mrs. Claus, or whatever the case may be. Um, yeah, very
Now it
good.
looks like Santa Scott Seriton has joined us. Ernie is on with us from New Hampshire. Good to see you guys. Tammy Weaver's joining us. Hi, Tammy. Good to see you again, dear. Okay, so that was our first question. Let's go ahead and jump into the second question. How many of you will be attending the ISC, that's the International Santa Celebration, at the end of this month? How many workshops do you plan on attending? And if not going to the ISC, why? And be honest here. I mean, don't get yourself in any hot water with anybody, but I mean, be honest. If there's a reason why, financial or whatever, just kind of throw that out there to us. The ISC and the Santa Family Reunion in Gatlinburg alternate years, and those are the two largest attendance Santa, Mrs. Claus, Claus related in the industry each year. So we were just wondering who was going. Are you going to attend any of the workshops? I did read this week that in past ISEs, you had to sign up for your workshops because seating was always limited. I know when I presented a workshop, facilitated a workshop in Denver in 2018, our seating capacity was 50. We had more than 50 folks that wanted to come out of the 425 that attended the event that year. But if you didn't get your name in and reserve your seat, then tough luck. And I read this year that due to the large rooms that they have, that it's pretty much unlimited. Show up at the door and come on in.
Wow,
So,
that's it's real interesting. Yeah, I went to Denver too.
uh-huh,
You had to sign up for the classes and to
yep,
know which one was upstairs, downstairs, across the room, and yeah,
hmm
yeah,
yep. So
yeah.
let's see what we got going on over here in the comments real quick, Randy, before we get too far up the line here. AJ says he's going to Santa Family Reunion next year. He paid for Branson this year, or they paid for Branson this year. So, hey, that's understandable, AJ. And if you can do one a year, you're doing good. Doing good, brother. Carl says,
Tam,
I'm headed to the IC, looking forward to it. I will attend as many workshops as possible. Also, don't
Tam,
forget the reindeer games. They'll be doing the reindeer games again. Mitch Allen and going to have some special guests there. We'll hear more about that in the leading weeks leading up to the event. Up there. Huh? You skipped Tammy's. Did I? Yeah.
yeah. Tammy says financial. Just just
Financial. Okay.
uh,
Thank you,
just
Tammy. Yeah, I understand that too. And I don't know if you're coming back to Branson this year or not, Tammy, but last year Tammy was one of the scholarship recipients, and it was good having her in Branson this last July. Joe says, love to go, but I will be teaching school 8 weeks till summer vacation, 2 years until retirement. Well, that's something to look forward to, Joe. 2 years to retirement. That I know it's going to seem like an eternity, but that's really not that far off as fast as time flies by now at this age. So good luck to you and hope your retirement is everything you expect it to be. I know some of us who have retired from a paying, working 40, 50 hour a week job turn around and get involved in so many things within the Santa community that you're already working more hours than you did when you was actually working. So did you get Carl? I did, the one that he's headed to the IC, looking forward to it. Yeah, okay. We'll work as many workshops or attend as many workshops as possible. I did. Mike Hutchins says, when you factor in hotel, travel, admission, meals, ISC is expensive for Canadians. Every dollar spent equates to $1.40 in Canadian money. Very true, Mike. That is, I guess, one of the small downfalls to living in Canada and having to travel into the U.S. For events. Charlie says he's going to the ISC. Of course, we wouldn't expect anything less from Charlie. I'm sure, Charlie, are you involved with the reindeer games this year? Give us a yes or a no. Shake your head. Shake it hard so I can hear those marbles rattling. Dana says not going this year. Too much going on. Also wanted to hear how it went with a bigger venue. Very true.
yeah. That'll be
Yeah.
interesting. How the just anybody can go to any class. That'll be very interesting to see how that works out.
Yeah. That hotel there in Memphis, it's supposed to have some large breakout rooms and sorts. So it's gonna be nice to be able to go any of them that you wish. And there is some great. They released on the ISC Facebook page a list of the workshops and who's going to be presenting them. There is some fabulous learning opportunities for not only new guys but senior Santas, Clauses, Mrs. Clauses, elves this year at the ISC. So if you don't plan on going, you might look at it and see if you can find a budget hotel where you can get a better rate, or figure out something, bunk with a bud, or make your way over there and see some of the stuff. Even if you only go for a day or two and don't stay the full 4 days, which is an option also. Of course, you still pay for the full price of the admission, but it cuts back on your expenses as far as hotel and food cost. Uh, Yes, Charlie says he will be involved if Mitch needs his services again. I know Mitch has announced that they're doing it and that he's looking at some different guests this time around. There's going to make some changes to it, but I haven't heard any real details on it yet. So we're waiting on Mitch. Maybe he'll do that on his state of the season show that he has coming up between now and then. All right. Goodness gracious. Looks like they've all come in. Great job, guys. Always good to hear from you. Again, I know financial is probably the number one reason that not more folks are attending the IC. It's always a great event. Workshops are fabulous. Food is great with 40 plus vendors. My goodness, you can find anything you want there. These are all very top high end vendors. It's amazing how much our vendor core has grown in the last 10 to 12, 15 years. A few years back, 10, 12, 15 years ago, you didn't have a handful of really good vendors. Now you've got, tens of tens of tens.
That's a lot.
40 plus
That'll
at
be
the
crazy. There's not you better have your credit card empty when you get there. It's yeah.
yeah. Yeah, if you can afford to buy, that's probably a great place to get. And some places run show specials. Like I know StuffForSanta.com always runs show specials. So if you're going to get it, sometimes you can get a better deal at these events. So gonna be fun. Gonna be fun. Okay, let's go ahead and let's jump into SantasCloset.org trivia for the day. Randy, you ready?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
Rock
Sounds
and
fun.
roll.
Hey everyone, Angela Mack here for Bob, Randyl, and Company Live, the show about nothing. Season 3 of Bob Randyl and Company Live is brought to you by santascloset.org, where you can find all your accessories for the discriminating Santa, Mrs. Claus, and the elves. Visit Santa Wade's website at santascloset.org today, where they are known for delivering unique, value-packed Santa and Mrs. Claus accessories since opening in 2004. The goal has always been to provide both a superior customer experience at a tremendous value. Their products are fairly priced, and Santa Wade strives to bring many different products to the Claus community. Visit the website and make your next season a truly special one. This is Angela Mack reminding you all to catch our show every Monday at 3 p.m. Central. Thanks for watching. Now let's get back to Bob, Randyl, and Company Live and today's Monday Santa's Closet Trivia.
Let's say hi to Sal. He's just joining us, and this is a fun one, Randy. We always try to come up with unique, different type of questions. So put this one out there and let them have fun with it.
Yeah, either the people love these or hate these. That's there. There's not a whole lot of thing on these. Marshmallow Peeps. That's right, Marshmallow Peeps, the cute little guys that are yellow and pink and everything. Marshmallow Peeps were first introduced in blank and took blank to make by hand. How many does it currently take to produce one Marshmallow Peep, and who was the founder? Excuse me.
4 answers there, guys. We need 4 answers.
4 answers. It's introduced. When was it introduced? The year. How long? Now, how long does it take?
By hand.
And who was the founder? 4 answers. There, it's pretty one. But Charlie and AJ are both in timeout, so
yeah, that gives some of the other folks a chance.
Wait, Charlie's out today.
Charlie got out today. He's out of jail.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Charlie may not know that. He may be late to the game, but let's see who can get this one.
I guess I'm curious how many people really do eat Marshmallow Peeps still.
As a child, I did. I loved them, but I loved marshmallows, and but I can't remember the last time I had a peep.
Yeah, I used to love them as a kid too, and I don't remember the last time I've had one. They're cute as can be. I mean, the little tiny ducky looking thing, and of course now they got the bunny, and but they're like a Twinkie. They'll be around until the end of time. So you kind of wonder what they're made out of now.
And I was surprised that they haven't been around as long as I thought they had. I was thinking they had been produced long before the actual production time that we're looking for here. But, as someone who has to watch their carbs and their sugar, to stay away from those things. So everything I love, I can't have. Everything I
Yep.
really just used to just gorge myself on, I'm now paying for. So
Everything that's good that you enjoyed is just not good for you anymore.
it's
Yep, but
absolutely
it's marshmallow peeps were first introduced in blank the year and took blank to make by hand. Now, how many does it currently take now to produce one peep? And who's the founder? So again, four answer guys. I think it'll be very cool.
yeah. I see that Mike has got a great answer going there. The fourth part of that, I was actually looking for the gentleman's name that found it, but he's got the company name in there. We will accept that as it does have the founder's last name as part of the name of the company. So it's up to Angela Mack. She'll decipher through these, find out who has the correct first answer in timestamp, and we will let you know later on in the show. Let's see. Okay, let's go ahead and get into the
Elfin.
Elfin Chatterbox News next.
Good.
Yeah.
Good afternoon and welcome. I'm Noah Lott with Elfin Chatterbox News Report, reporting for the Bob, Randyl and Company live show. Remember you can catch our live reports every Monday at 3 p.m. Central. Now back over to you guys in the studio for the latest on this breaking news event.
All right, so we want to start off our breaking news today. Speaking of the memorial service for Dolphus Lee Day, many of you have heard from last week's show on Monday and Tuesday. We had a moment of silence for Dolphus, one of my closest and best friends here in North Texas. Just lived a mile and a half, 2 miles from me, and I helped him get started in the professional ranks. And he attended, gosh, almost every school class that I held and that Gordon held. The very first one 11 years ago was held at Martinez Mexican food restaurant. We rented the back room, and that was where we had it. We had, I think, 13, 14 people that showed up to that one. Dolphus was one of the ones that attended the very first At Bob's class in North Texas. Ironically, the funeral home that he will be at is about 150 yards from that restaurant. It's at the Mesquite Funeral Home. Let me see here. I've got this information right here that I can go to. His memorial service will be Thursday, April 4th. That's coming up this Thursday, April 4th at 2 p.m. Central Time. Mesquite Funeral Home that's located at 721 Gross Road, Mesquite, Texas. That's 75149. I know something that is also ironic to this is that I knew the original occupants and owner of the property that the funeral home is now occupying. It was J&L Auto Parts, Johnny and Leo Belshi. They were sponsors of mine when I raced cars. And my pit crew expert, motor expert, chassis expert that I went to high school with, worked with at jobs after we got out of high school, also worked at J&L for some time and was engaged to Johnny and Leota's daughter for a number of years. They did not end up getting married, but they did. But kind of ironic that this funeral home is in the same building where J&L Auto Parts used to be. We heard from Bruce Hickman. Santa Bruce Hickman is over in Fort Worth, sewing for the clauses. He is, of course, longtime member of Lone Star Santas. I've got my Lone Star Santa hat on today, by the way. And he will be officiating the service for us as one of the chaplains for the Lone Star Santas North Texas area. Santa Barry Swindle will be reading the last sleigh ride, and the bell ringers have been selected, and I will be taking part in the bell ringing service, as many of Dolph's closest Santa friends here from North Texas will be. Service after the service, the family has who do not live locally has a room at the Courtyard Marriott. That is at Interstate 30 and Interstate 635. Cannot miss it. It's the only Marriott Courtyard we have here on the Mesquite side of town. And they've asked that if you want to come back to the room, they've got an area set up for food, plates, bowls. Bring finger food with you, if you will, if you're going to attend. That'll be from 3:30 to 4:30 there at the Marriott Courtyard. All right, Randy. It's gonna be a tough one. It's gonna be really tough.
Just too many, too close, too many.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. The hits just keep coming, as they say. All right, Randy. So we've mentioned week in, week out, TNL will be at the IC. We have 2 booths secured. We're by Spangles, Spangles by us. Find us. We'll be in the room with the other 40 vendors. So if you want to jump on camera, do a short interview, be part of the TNL or the Monday show, we're going to be doing some taping. We're going to do some lives. Try to do as many live as Angela has time for. And if she doesn't have time to set up the StreamYard, then we've decided that if we get a interesting interview or something to want to cover, we can always do a Facebook Live and then upload that or download that to YouTube later on as a recording. So anyway, that is one of the things we want to talk about. We also want to talk about School of Santa's 2024, Branch, Missouri, July 18th, 19th, 20th, and 21st. Still a few seats left. I've had a few cancellations due to, one thing or another. Those kind of things happen. Jeff McMillan is the keynote instructor at Kringle University. Randy, have you got some things to talk about? I know the Michigans have, you guys in Michigan have some stuff coming up.
Yeah, we got maps. We've got coming the 30th and 31st of May. We have CPW, Christmas Performers Workshop 2. So it's kind of good if you went to one first, but this is the second class for performing on the 30th and 31st. And it's all connected to a thing called Jingle Joy Weekend. And then on Saturday, that's up in Clare, Michigan. It's all taken in the middle of Clare, Michigan, where Rooftop Landing Reindeer Farm is. So on Saturday, they're having, you can come bring your suit, bring your costume, bring ready to go. You can get pictures with the reindeer, all those kind of things. And we got luncheon and everything on the 1st of June up in Clare, Michigan for our Jingle Joy Weekend. So it's all connected. It's all in the same location. But of course, CPW is a pay event. School Jingle Joy is free to get together for lunch and just have to register, let us know you're coming. Then, of course, Red Suit, we will be talking about the Red Suit Conclave. We will be talking, that's right, it's free. Red Suit Conclave we'll be talking about. It will be coming in the first week in August again in Saginaw, Michigan. So that's always a great event. We have we're kind of laying it out a little differently this year. We have some different people that are organizing it. So it's going to be a full day of Santa's, Mrs. Claus's, elves, a little bit of everything for those 2 days. So it's going to be a fun weekend. There'll be more information to come. Thank you.
And might remind folks that you do not have to be a member of MAPS to attend. Is that correct?
That's true. You don't have to be a member of MAPS to attend. So just as long as you're registered, let us know you're coming. It's Saginaw, Michigan, which is about right there in Michigan. I know it messes people up, but it's kind of in the middle of the state. It's a great weekend. We do a thing in a hotel. We have a Saturday night banquet, off premises where the classes are. Big venue. Lunch is included on Saturday and Sunday. Actually, yes, it's included for free. Wow.
Let's mention, brothers and sisters, you are not going to find a better group of folks than MAPS. The brotherhood is over the top, sharing, better together. Just cannot say enough good things about MAPS. They are one of the leaders in the industry as far as helping advance each and every person. Again, you don't have to be a member of MAPS, just register. That way they know you're coming. If you're anywhere in the United States or in the world and you're watching this, but especially if you're in the Northeast or the Midwest, try to make it to the MAPS.
Yeah, we do whatever we can to. MAPS is a free organization anyway. We don't charge dues to be a member of MAPS anyway. But we try to keep it just out of donations and everything else. It's all free, and that's what's amazing about this community. How many people will give their time and effort and their knowledge for years and years of becoming a Santa and Mrs. Claus. They'll give it back in a heartbeat, and that's just like I said. We are so fortunate that we have so many people that do that, or the people that do thing behind our Red Suit Weekend. We've got people that are bringing. I just saw Charlie's name. He brings a sound system every year and helps clean up. The people that cook the food and get the coffee. It's all those people even behind the scenes that do it for free out of the kindness of their heart to do a fellowship with all the others. It's a phenomenal thing, and actually now, as of April 1st, there's a new board. We have a new board at MAPS. So I guess it's official to say now, since April 1st is. I don't know if it's maybe they should announce it, but this new board has switched in MAPS as of April 1st. Michael Brewer is the new president. I am the new vice president. And so Mel is our secretary, and it's a great board. So don't miss it. It's free, and join us. Like Bob said, and everybody says, we're all better together. We're better together.
You guys share, and you give the shirt off your back.
That's and that's. I mean, somebody helped me. I didn't learn all this stuff by myself. Some things you muddle through, but somebody helped me through the thing. And I'll tell you who it was. It was Jim Tate that helped me out a lot of this. One of the founders of MAPS that I've known since I was actually 15 years old. Helped me in clowning and helped me in magic and helped me in Santa. So it's like I was helped. It's my responsibility to help somebody else as far as I'm concerned.
Right, that was something that Gordon Bailey stressed so many times in public, privately, phone conversations. If you don't have a mentor, if you don't have someone that you can look up to, someone you can go to for answers, or a group of people, you don't have to have just one
Just
mentor.
one, yeah.
I was lucky enough to have numerous mentors, and I would get, I'd call more than one and say, "Hey, how do you do this?" Call the next one, "Hey, what's your take on this?" And then make that informed decision on what you wanted to take and what you didn't want to use, and use it. I mean, it's there for the taking. They're there to help you find a mentor if you don't have one. Just someone that you can reach out to and chat if you need to.
Because the knowledge
Invite.
is amazing. It's amazing out there. Experiences are just limitless.
Let's see here. I know there's some comments that have popped up over here. Deborah Kaiser says she has a birthday coming up on the 5th of this month. Our son's is the 3rd. So here in 2 days. What am I missing here? I know there was some film.
Charlie had one.
Charlie?
Yeah, he's got two up there.
Oh yeah. And Diane says, well, that was the answer to the trivia question she has. Charlie says, just had lunch with 4 other MAPS members in Grand Rapids, Michigan. That's always fun. Yeah, and mentorship goes further than just a phone conversation or getting together for a local event. Get together, go out and break bread. Some of the most personal and thought provoking and sharing happens when breaking bread. So go out with someone in your area, get to know them better, get to know how they do things. Charlie said we had a great time at last year's Red Suit Conclave. Great food, catering meals at night, trivia, and great music. Come join us. It's like Everett's made it in. Dana, she listens to us on her way home in the car. It looks like Everett has made his way into our program today. All right, Randy. So I think we pretty much covered all that well. Let's go ahead and get into the upcoming guests and shows for TNL. Tomorrow night's guest is the renowned author, award-winning author. She's going to talk about her Christmas book. She's written a number of children's books. Several of them have won awards. One of them she won an award for the 200th anniversary copy. The Clement Seymour Was the Night Before Christmas or a Visit from St. Nick, depends on which way you look at it. and she was awarded a award from a very esteemed group for removing the pipe and replacing it with a different verse. The first publication of its kind at the time that it happened, so it was very, very important that they gave her an award for the fact that they removed the pipe portion and changed it. She's written this book here. It took her 10 years to build this book. 10 years of traveling archives to libraries to anywhere she could find information on the history of St. Nicholas, Santa Claus, Clement C. Moore, and much, much more. She's actually found one of the in one of the libraries, one of the original handwritten copies of the poem by Clement C. Moore. She visited the home, has pictures of the home where that poem was written. 10 years. She's been on every TV, morning show, magazine, uh, podcast. She's been on so many shows, and we are so lucky to be able to bring her to you tomorrow night. So check in tomorrow night, Pamela McCall. It'll be a fantastic show. If you don't have this book and you want to know the history, I mean, everything is in this book right here. 200 and what did I say? 200 and something pages here. About 265 pages roughly. It's a heavy book, 3.50 pounds.
That's a big book. That's a big book.
Big book. And then the following week, a week from tomorrow night, which is April 9th, we have the IBRBS International Santa Celebration 2024 Memphis, Tennessee preview show. Deanna Golden, the CEO, the newly appointed CEO for IBRBS, will be on the show with us, and she will let you know anything, everything, how to, what to, be there to answer any question you might have, talk about the workshops. It'll be a fantastic show.
Yeah, that'll
Then,
be very
Randy,
interesting. Everybody's going. Very interesting. And even if you can't go, it'll be an interesting show just to hear what's going to be going on and who's going to be there, and that'll be good.
yep,
And of
she'll have
course,
the
you already
latest.
go ahead.
After that, what we got, Randy?
We got in May so far hooked up is Jeff McMullen. Yes, Jeff Santa Mac is going to be, of course, at School of Santa this year as keynote speaker. But of course, he's going to talk about Kringle U, which he has up there, and of course, a little bit of his shed and his years in Ringling Brothers. And you gotta listen to Santa Mac. It's just something about him is kind of like mesmerizing or soothing, or I don't know what the right word is there. He just knows how to draw you in when he talks. Very. I wish I could learn how to just have that voice pattern and everything else.
Godly.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's
He is
oh,
just such a. I mean, he just reeks. Uh, I don't know. I'm like you. I'm kind of lost for words.
yeah,
He's just such a quality person. He is so humble, known as the humble vagabond in some circles. And he talked about on the last time he was on Tuesday Night Live show about how he had to change his life. And in our younger years, we're all different than we are in our elder years. We live and learn, you might say. We learn
yep.
from our mistakes and learn from others' mistakes. And you kind of mold yourself into who you are as time goes on. Life has a way of doing that to you. And he's such a quality person. Can't say enough good things about Jeff Mack.
Yeah, the first time I saw Jeff was actually at the um, convention in Denver. And I went to his class, and I had to go up and afterwards and tell him how touched I was. I mean, it was just that was the first time I ever met him or even listened to him. I didn't know who McMullen Santa Mac was until then. And
He has such an impelling story and has such a delivery in the way that uh, the soothing way that
yeah,
he talks about things. He leaves you hanging with every word. I mean, you listen intently to make sure that you're catching everything that he has to share because he has a lot to share. Such an interesting live from his struggles trying to become the McDonald's clown for years on the western half of the United States, from his Ringling Brothers, Barnum and Bailey days, to riding the trains with the circus to now working with the train museum. I mean, this guy has so much to share. And again, he will be, at the Branson event this year for Spangle, and that's part of what he's coming on is to talk about that and share all the new things that's happening at Jeff Max Live.
Don't miss it. Don't miss it. It's
Don't miss
free. Always free.
Yes.
There's no hidden cost. You don't have
Yes.
to send the money in to make different levels. Don't. It's all free.
And
To get more information.
Just couldn't be any better. This couldn't be any better. Okay, let's go ahead and let's get into our trivia answer here. Randy, go ahead and throw it out.
Alrighty.
We do have a winner, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I knew we did, but I just want to make sure.
Alrighty. The question is, Marshmallow Peeps were first introduced in 1953. That's right, 1953. Seems like
70 years ago.
Wow, 1953. And took 27 hours. 27 hours to make one peep. How can they make any money on that? I mean, think about it. Something that takes that long, you're not going to make any money.
Labor of love.
It was a labor, right? How long does it currently take now to make one marshmallow peep? 6 minutes. It still seems, I guess, from start to finish, 6 minutes can go by pretty quick. So that's pretty quick, but it takes 6 minutes. And who was the founder? Sam Bourne.
That's correct. And Mike, trying to find the Bourne Candy Company. And he came back and went ahead and put Sam Bourne's name in there after I mentioned it. And he is our winner, correct?
That's correct.
Mike Hutchins, Phineas is the winner. All right, Mike, got your address, of course. Got your clause cards. Speaking of clause cards, I got some really interesting ones in this week. Got some new ones in. I don't know how many of you are participating in the clause cards, but look at that mug right there. Magical. Randyl Santa Checker Lee. I got his this week. Really cool. Mark Rector down in Georgia sent me his. We traded. Mark's came in. Got Daniel Pless up there in your neck of the woods. Grand Blanc, Michigan, came in this week. Daniel.
Dan riding that bicycle, that motorcycle of his, that it's like a three-wheeler. But it's a front three-wheeler, I think. 2 wheels in the front, one in the back.
Yes, those have different names. Some of them are called spiders. They're called slingshots. They're called different names. But this is the interesting one. This is one you won't recognize because he's got a beard here.
Oh, wow. Who is that?
That's Mr. Carl White.
Oh, so that's what he looked like with a beard.
That's what he looks like with a beard out in the road of Georgia.
He cleans up very well.
So it's good to keep having clause cards coming in. If you have not gotten on the bandwagon with clause cards, jump in. Of course, I showed this last week. Mr. Ron McClam from Rio Rancho, New Mexico, sent me his. Ron started asking folks to signature, so he signed his right there. I signed mine and I sent back to him. So that's kind of a twist on things. So if you haven't gotten into the clause card fad, you need to get into that fad. It's cool, kind of a way to reach out and make contact with someone you may not have talked to in a while. And if you're looking for the list of 50 plus folks that are on that list, you can go over to the Tuesday Night Live Facebook group where we have it posted. And there is a Facebook group, Clause Cards. Go over and check it out.
Yeah, once you get your cards through Jessica and all that, you become a member of that, and you can let people know, hey, look, I still need so and so number, and they'll list who's new, because it started out being 15, 20, 30, 40. Now it's over 50. So it's growing all the time, and it's fun. I got my book from Spangle, the book that, he was selling. It's just a lot of fun to put that in. You open up and it's like trading cards from when we were a kid, the baseball cards.
Yeah. That's the card keeper binder that you're talking about, has the plastic slips where you slip your cards in to protect them. And Jessica says she got another order for a set of cards today. Well, great. And I have a feeling by the time we get to the ISA and shortly after, we should break the 100 mark. course, now I saw a post where Jessica says she's reserved 100 for herself. So, but we got thousands of Santas and Mrs. Clauses and elves in the community. So this could go on for months and years. Who knows?
It's fun. It's fun. Join in. Join in. It's a good way to connect with your fellow brothers and sisters in red.
AJ says he got Ron's last week. He's still waiting on Rex and Deanna's. AJ's going to get his by the time we get to Branson. So if you're coming to Branson, you want to trade with AJ, be sure and bring extra with you, because not only AJ, but there'll be others there that can trade face to face without having to put a stamp on an envelope. Jessica says also that you do have to be a card carrying member to join the Facebook group. So just remember, order your cards and join the group second. So
it's fun.
all right,
Spangle does a thing when you send your cards to Spangle and Greta, he will send you a lanyard with a little pouch. So if you go to ISC, you can put yours in there, and it says Claus cards on a lanyard and all that. So it just very easy to switch, and they'll know if you got one. They're fun.
And since the cards are print on demand, Spangle doesn't actually have the cards in hand before they're sent out to the individual. So if you receive a card, remember to reach out even to Spangle, his Mrs. Claus, and his elf Jetta, his wife, and send them 3 of your cards, and he will send you those back with that lanyard. So three back to you, or his back, theirs back. Each one of them. 1, 2, 3. Got it. Randy, let's go ahead and jump into our tips for the day. You ready?
Ready?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Hi, guys, and thank you for Santa's tips again. Actually, Bob brought this up a little earlier about what he likes to eat the most is Oreos. Now, this is something that you can carry around all year long. Yes, I know we shouldn't eat cookies all year long, but it's a way for Santa also can do magic and talk about his cookies. And, the children are asked, well, Santa, you're like cookie chocolate chip. Oh yeah, I eat chocolate chip for Christmas, but of course I eat the Oreos too. And you reach down in and you grab a cooked cookie out, and it's a they're a yummy cookie. And excuse me, I'm sorry, that was rude. I apologize. I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have just eaten the cookie, but they do taste very good. So maybe we should start over. So, and it's just a fun thing to do. It's called a bite cookie. But what I do is I take it one step further. I bought a pack of Oreo cookies, and there's Oreos in there. I just made sure I sprayed them very well with lacquer, so they'll last forever. Of course, then you can pull a cookie out and look very authentic. Mrs. Claus can keep this in her purse, or Santa in his bag, or it's always a fun thing to do when you talk about your cookies. Of course, it's just a little bends over when you put it in your mouth and it flips back over, but it's another way that Santa can do a little bit of magic, talk about cookies, blend two things together, and then make it look more realistic when you pull it out of a pack of Oreos, not just having a cookie in your pocket. So I just keep one in there, and boom, ready to go. I know you can't twist them apart like Bob likes to do, but it's something you can always have with you, and especially this throughout the year. It works good in June, July, whenever, middle of summer, when you're not talking about chocolate chip cookies, you can bring up an Oreo and say, oh yeah, I eat these later, but don't tell, because Mrs. Claus likes to, bake cookies. But so that's one cookie. There's another way we can always do cookies, and I've showed this a few times, but of course, is to make magically a cookie appear. Of course, we all love cookies, and boys and girls always ask us what's our favorite. Oh, we tell them the chocolate chip and the peanut butter and the oatmeal and the gingerbread, and oh, they're so yummy. And but I always say, oh, my favorite are the snickerdoodles. Oh, they make me laugh so much, though this is a silly word. Of course, they make me laugh. But we can, since we don't have any cookies, we gotta make some cookies appear. Of course, do the old magic words, wee wee, woodgy woodgy, just like that, and we can make cookies appear out of a pan. Now, I won't bite this one because this, again, it is a real cookie, but it's been lacquered and it's about 5 years old now. Um, but it's called a little chip pan, is what it's called. This way we can take a staple of Santa, which is the cookies, and make a routine out of it. If it's the Oreos in the bite, if it's a chick pan, and I'll show you what a chick pan means. It is a, whoops, I got to come up a little higher here. It's the pan, a little cover, but this cover stays up in there. It locks up in there. So it stays up in there when you lift it. And then when you set that down in there, it releases clips, and then you have cookies. Or you can have whatever you want to in here, because in magic, it's really not cookies. You might produce silks or in a bigger one's a dove pan, but I like to put a cookie in there, and it just takes Santa to the next level of doing something magical, and ties it into something that children know Santa enjoys is cookies, because we always talk about cookies and what's Santa's favorite. That's I had somebody ask me on Saturday, in fact, someone I've only met a couple of times, ask what Santa's favorite cookie is. And of course, I did the same routine. I said, it's cute. Chocolate chip tells you what you like, what it is. Oatmeal tells you what it is. Gingerbread tells you what it is. But snickerdoodle, it doesn't tell you what it is. That's why it makes me laugh, because it's such a cute word. But you can buy the Dove Pan online or at your local magic store. It's called the Chick Pan. And you can buy these little folded. I know Charlie does this a lot. He really gets a lot of use out of this. And so it's a fun thing to have. I just took it, one step further and added it to a little more realism by taking a cookie out of a cookie thing. So take your ideas, take something that Santa's used to, and stretch it a little bit to make it more magical or interesting for the children. We don't just have to say, "Oh, Santa loves chocolate chip cookies." Well, do something a little bit more with it. So thank you again, as always. I am just so very lucky and blessed that I can spend some time with you each and every week. Thank you. I love and care to each and every one of you. Have a great time.
I love both of those. Those are so good, and you trigger a thought of mine with the cookies. Talked about shouldn't be eating cookies all the time, right? Well, story on Dolphus Lee Day. He was a insulin diabetic, so well, we would go to Santa gatherings or go to an event that was going to be, there for a while or overnight. He always carried a tin of chocolate chip cookies in his backpack. He carried a backpack with him everywhere he went. He always had cookies, and if his blood sugar dropped, he'd pull a cookie out, start eating. He'd take and pass his tin around, let everybody have one if they wanted one. But he always was known to have chocolate chip cookies on him everywhere he went. So great little story. All right, Randy, that was so good. I just love the Santa tips. Those are fantastic. That gives everyone an insight on how them little you know tricks, sleight of eye, whatever you want to call it, sleight of hand, things that you do that you incorporate into your performance. That's why you're the best performer on earth.
Boy, this is costing me millions, isn't it, Bob?
All right, let's go ahead and move on to Nightcap. This is a little segment we do each week, and I'll kind of lead into this one, I guess. It's a 5-minute short story. Where is Santa's Cat is the name of the story. It's in book form. You can get it in book, and it's also available on audiobook if you want to do it that way. Oh no, Santa's white cat has gone missing. You'll never guess where she's gone. It's a great story, and what I love most about this little story is it being a 5-minute short story, is it incorporates a lot of the fairy tale characters that we know when we were growing up, like Little Red Riding Hood and Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, the Three Bears, the Three Little Pigs, and so it's a great little story. Let's go ahead and run this, and we'll talk more on the other side. And that particular book was just released September 22nd of 2022, so it hadn't been around that long. But if you get a chance to get you a copy, Storyberries is where I found this at. I also noticed there are copies available on Amazon and a few of the other bookstores, anywhere that you can find books sold. But Storyberries was the one that actually had the rights to the first rights to the story and to the book. So fantastic. Where is Santa's Cat's great little story. Iris is the cat's name, and Santa goes with the cat to look at Christmas trees for the season, and the dark fairy comes along and lures the cat away while she's on her way to see the three little kittens. And great story. And I think it's one that every child will enjoy because all children love cats. And then, of course, with all the fairy tale characters that the cat, as well as Santa, when he's looking for the cat, run into throughout the Enchanted Forest is really cool the way they incorporated all those. All right, Randy. We got any questions out there that I missed, Angela?
Want to say hi to Steve. Steve joined us. He
And like,
can I tell you a little bit about Steve? Steve was one of my photographer. He did photography work at the big box store while I was Santa there, and got so intrigued about being. He has a real white beard, or short at the time, and so he came to our wrap up banquet on in January for Maps. He's joined Maps. He's going to a couple Santa schools. He even became the Easter Bunny there at the big box store. So, and he sent me a picture. He goes, he had his hands like this. He goes, "Are my hands in a good spot?" Yes, Steve, they are. Perfect. You learned quick. Hi, Steve. Good to see you. Thanks, Bill, for saying that also too. Bill, thank you very much for saying that about Santa's tips. Thank you.
Bill says that he loves the tips each week, the Santa tips from Randy. We all do. That's a great segment. I always look forward to it. All right, Randy, we've been on here an hour and 10 minutes today. We're going to button down the hatches and wait for the storms to develop. They should be here in the Metroplex around 6 p.m. So go outside and put away a few things and get ready for the
Be
storm.
safe. Please stay safe.
Yes, sir. Sure will. And good to be with everyone again today. As always on Monday, be sure and check back in with us next Monday. Of course, tomorrow night, our guest is Pamela McCall. She's an award-winning author. You don't want to miss that show. We've had some within the Santa community, and she is part of the Santa community with her books. Not only does she have that book, she has the 200th copy edition for celebrating of the 200th year of "'Twas the Night Before Christmas." She has one that she put out that has all new updated illustrations in it, which is really cool. But she's got a number of books out, but she's very, very talented. She's a historian. She was a teacher. She's got such a background. She's going to be one of our more fascinating guests that we've had on. in a while. So not that they all aren't, but she's going to be, something that most of us didn't know. I didn't know her until a few weeks ago, and Spangle ran across her, introduced her to me, and we talked her into coming on the show. So, yes, tomorrow night, Pamela McCall, esteemed author and award-winning author at that. Randy,
And
thank you, my friend. Yes, sir, that's right.
it's
That's
free, guys.
that's the thing about it is we never charge here. We're always here to help. Randy's front door is always open. Just go in and make yourself at home, and he'll come along and help you. I will do the same thing. We're here for everyone. Have a fantastic Monday and a better Tuesday and wild Wednesday and a thrilling Thursday and a freaky Friday, and we'll see you next week.
Wow. Bye, guys. Thank you so much.